trust in faulty methods. And all this really means is don't depend on scams or shills to actually make a big change in your looks. Okay, so things like thumb pulling, mewing, gua sha, posture, or a haircut. Now these things can be helpful, things like a haircut, even though he kind of looks better here than here. Maybe gua sha, you get some lymphatic drainage a little bit. Posture, that's definitely an important thing you want to do. Mewing is just proper tongue posture. Thumb pulling, again, I don't see any evidence for, specifically because it's like, let's say your maxilla moves forward. Is the idea that the bone of your mandible is going to like separate and grow forward in perfect alignment? It's just so many logistical issues with thumb pulling. No evidence of it actually working. All the case studies that apparently prove it don't actually prove it. The list goes on. It's not something that's actually going to transform your looks, if that makes sense. It's just not. Okay, you can do it if you want. I think it's a large cope, and I think all the evidence suggests it's a large cope. And my point would be simply have realistic expectations about what you're doing and the results you're going to achieve. If you are complacent because you think mewing is going to ascend your looks, guess what? In 2 years of mewing, you're going to look exactly the same. Now you've just wasted 2 years of your life. You could have been actually doing more effective things. And I think you guys get my point. So have realistic expectations and don't put trust in this stuff to transform your looks.
Agreed. Shills like thumb pulling are a scam. However, he himself promotes a cope method, with that being raw primal, so he's being a bit contradictory.
And my next point, you need to avoid these foods, especially in development, with anti-nutrients that bind to calcium in your gut, things like phytic acid and oxalates. So for example, raspberries are really high in oxalates. Spinach is high in oxalates. Chocolate's high in oxalates. Again, oxalates bind to the calcium which you need for bone development in your gut. They render it useless. And again, we know as a fact around 90 to 80%, depending on the analysis, of kidney stones are calcium oxalate stones. So you need to avoid calcium, you do not need to avoid calcium. You need to avoid oxalates. Things like bread and rice, these have phytic acid, and phytic acid behaves the same way. It binds to the essential minerals in your gut and renders them useless. Again, things like bread and rice have no micronutrition. These are just sugar and fiber, glyphosate, okay? It's just garbage. You shouldn't be eating these foods. You should be eating real foods. These anti-nutrients quite literally biochemically reduce your height. Just like I said, these foods are literally stealing the minerals.
Phytic acid and oxalates will have minimal effect during puberty. There is no study which proves they stunt development whatsoever.
Eat this instead. Eat meat, butter, eggs. I should have put seafood here, okay? Again, in animal products, if you diversify a bit, you will get every single essential nutrient for humans, okay? Every single mineral, bioavailable protein and fat. Again, you need no carbs. Even the ADA says this. You do not need exogenous carbs for a single function, okay? If you eat these foods, you'll get every single micro and macronutrient, every single amino acid, every single mineral that you need. If you diversify, red meat, seafood, eggs, butter, organs in small amounts, okay? Things like liver, brain, heart, okay? You have to be very careful with brain. You will have every single nutrient. You will be a powerhouse of a human. You will start feeling amazing. You will start looking better, okay? When you pair this with other lifestyle habits, you're going to basically quote unquote soft max to your max capability, okay?
Doing a zero-carb diet in puberty has been shown to significantly reduce IGF-1, which is essential for growth. Also, eating zero carbs will severely reduce your gym progress. You shouldn't be scared of oxalates for stunting your growth, but rather be scared of having zero carbs.
Leads me to my next point. Fix problems naturally and not with drugs. I fell for Accutane at the age of 14 and it was just a lousy temporary fix, okay? So
you're going against hundreds of studies which prove that Accutane can have permanent results, with one showing 85% of people having permanent results after 5 months on about 20 milligrams per day.
All just lied to me. They said my diet had nothing to do with my acne. They told me to avoid the sun, and they couldn't have been more wrong.
Again, another wrong point from Face IQ. Sun has been shown to have some temporary relief/benefits for acne. However, long-term it has been proven to have harmful effects due to increasing oil production, clogged pores, and much more. Again, I have real scientific proof, unlike Face IQ.
Back when I was 13 and 14, when I was starting to eat an unnatural diet from school, school lunch and stuff, I would have been able to fix my skin naturally and fix my depression.
No scientific evidence to say that diet could cure hormonal acne or depression.
With Accutane, okay? Accutane gave me permanent joint pain. It really destroyed my triglycerides. It raised them to the moon. It caused a lot of stress on my liver, okay? These are pharmaceutical poisons because they will literally cause a deformed child if a pregnant woman takes Accutane. These are literal poisons. When people say, oh, it's just a lot of vitamin A, bro. No, it's not just a lot of vitamin A. It is an artificial synthetic vitamin that is so powerful, can literally just destroy your body, okay? Never take it. Try an all meat diet if you have to for a few months and see what happens. You'll watch the magic happen. Your inflammatory disease, which is what acne is, will fade away. It's a mistake. I wish I would have known better. If you're a kid, you've been considering it, this is your sign. Try my diet, see how it goes.
Accutane is a miracle drug and the best thing you can do for acne. Having any kind of liver change is really unlikely, and saying that joint pain actually is a reason not to do it is just complete retardation. The main takeaway from this section is Face IQ would rather you do something less effective, with little to no scientific backing for your acne, which is diet, instead of doing something which is proven and far greater at treating acne, which is Accutane. So he's essentially going against science.
Weight with GLP-1s, so things like Ozempic, okay? And I have some studies and resources to prove exactly what I'm talking about. Typically, people lose a ton of lean body mass on Ozempic and other GLP-1s. So, while Ozempic is effective for weight loss, studies indicate it can also lead to a decrease in lean body mass, including muscle, alongside fat loss, with some studies showing an average loss of 15 pounds of lean muscle, okay? Of all the possible side effects from taking these medications, loss of muscle mass is one you may not have thought of. A recent study showed that those on Ozempic or any form of semaglutide lost on average 60% fat and 40% muscle mass, okay? Again, GLP-1s essentially are like a pseudo-bariatric surgery. They basically paralyze your stomach. And the way these work, the way it ends up, evidently, is you lose a ton of muscle mass. Because again, you want to lose not weight, but you want to lose fat, okay? You don't want to lose bone density. You don't want to lose muscle. You don't want to lose bone mass. You want to lose fat, okay?
Another low IQ take from Face IQ. He's only talking about Ozempic. He also forgets to talk about how it fares against a placebo group, basically not using the GLP-1 versus taking them. If he did this, he'd learn people tend to lose the same or even less lean mass on retatrutide or tirzepatide compared to not using it. This means using GLP-1s like the ones I stated will not only make it easier and faster to lose weight, but also comes with the same loss of lean mass as not using it.
Never take a GLP-1, go on a carnivorous ketogenic diet and lose it naturally. Again, yeah, just lose it with this, okay? You don't need a man-made modern drug to lose weight. You just need to eat naturally. And again, you don't want to lose weight, you want to lose fat.
Yeah, instead of doing something which has been proven to be effective at losing body fat, Face IQ would rather you do something with no data or studies backing it up, which is eating a carnivore diet at maintenance calories.
Known about raw milk. Now, I was actually blessed to have raw milk in development, but I wish I knew that it was helping me grow taller so that I would have kept doing it longer, okay? Again, here are all the compounds listed in raw milk that are very beneficial for your development, your bone development, height, etc. Calcium, phosphorus, I won't even read all these out. Basically, it has minerals, protein, fat, amino acids. It has growth factors like IGF-1, okay? It has probiotics too, omega-3s. Basically, raw milk nutritionally is a superfood, and it's not to be underrated, okay? If you're
Raw milk hasn't actually been proven to make you grow taller, but pasteurized dairy has. By all means, drink raw dairy if you want to, but be aware that there are several risks that come with it. These being it causing food poisoning in around 17% of cases over a 10-year period, with 13% of food poisonings from raw milk requiring hospitalization.
The last piece of advice is find a high return on investment procedure and commit to fixing it, okay? And this is something that will help you have a clear goal to work towards. And this is something that will ensure what you do will actually have a large return on investment, okay?
I agree, sorta. The thing is that just because it's not high ROI doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. For example, if you have a decent jaw, good width, decent chin projection, etc., should you try to improve it even more? I would say yes. Even though it's only maybe a 0.25 to 0.5 increase in looks, I'd say it's still worth it. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Beauty out.